Well, prepare yourself, guys. Chris with T3 Medias, and this is episode 99 of Talking Through the Medias. And let's get right into it. First, I'm going to start off with some I don't even know what to call this. It's not even it's like a non-issue thing. It's more of an annoyance. I was looking on Twitter, and after Silver Screen Analysis uploaded the canned Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the talk with all the actors, Quentin Tarantino themselves, at the Cannes Film Festival. This interview was on my radar, and I looked more into it and watched it, and I enjoyed what they said. Then Variety sent out a tweet with a piece of what went on, and it seemed like something that just wasn't even a thing until you box it into a clip. And on Variety's official Twitter, it says Quentin Tarantino snapped at a female reporter from the New York Times who asked why Margot Robbie wasn't given more to say or do in his latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Over there.
Farah Nayeri from the New York Times. I had a question, same question for Quentin and Margot. Quentin, you have put Margot Robbie, a very talented actress, actor, in your film. She was in with Leonardo in Wolf of Wall Street, I, Tonya. This is a person with a great deal of acting talent, and yet you haven't really given her many lines in the movie. And I wondered, I guess that was a deliberate choice on your part, and I just wanted to know why that was, that we don't hear her actually speaking very much. And Margot, I wanted you to also comment about being in the film in this part.
Well, I just reject your hypotheses.
Like I said earlier, I always look to the character and what the character is supposed to serve to the story. I think the moments that I got on screen gave an opportunity to honor Sharon and the lightness. I don't think it was intended to delve deeper than, like Brad also mentioned, I think the tragedy ultimately was the loss of innocence, and to really show those wonderful sides of her, I think could be adequately done without speaking. I did feel like I got a lot of time to explore the character, even without dialogue specifically, which is an interesting thing because I often do look to the interaction with other characters to inform me on the character. Rarely do I get an opportunity to spend so much time on my own as a character, going through a day-to-day existence. That was actually an interesting thing for me to do as an actor. I actually really appreciated the exercise and felt that I could deliver what I wanted to on screen.
I'm afraid our time is up. Thank you all very much for being here today.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're trying to what kind of noise or what kind of trouble are you trying to start, or what kind of like, ooh, let's see if I can get these two people to fight, and Quentin Tarantino on the left and the whatever fill in the blank movement on the right here, and go, trying to stir up any mess like off the bat. Before I even listened again to what actually was said and done and what happened, I thought to myself, what is said a lot. Quentin Tarantino is about telling a story. And I don't know if he wrote the part with Margot Robbie in mind. I don't know if the odds are, just like it's been known throughout his whole career, that he came upon a good idea for a story and just wrote the story. And he probably had it in the back of his mind. You know who would bring this to life very well? DiCaprio or Margot Robbie, anybody. Maybe that. But there's no way in the world you're going to convince me that a guy like Quentin Tarantino was going, I need to have Margot Robbie or Quentin or Leonardo DiCaprio or anybody in this movie, and I'm going to write a story that's going to promote them. Versus the other way around. You write a movie, a script, and then you cast it. you cast first, then write it, and then you've just all or right there you've already made a movie that's only purpose is to promote you, and that's fine. You can do that if you want to. Maybe you'll come out with a great movie as well. But Quentin Tarantino is known for being a storyteller. Right off the bat, the second I read that, I was like, come on. You didn't give this person, that person enough screens. And what does that say to Margot Robbie? That you were offered a role you don't have to take. Margot Robbie's not hurting for work. Maybe she just wants to work with Quentin Tarantino. Maybe that was the situation. Whatever it is, whether big or small, I want to work. Maybe, but probably in a small way, yeah. But at the same time, not hurting for work. Even I don't see Margot Robbie being the type of person that, if she was the type of person that was like, it has to have this many lines in it, or I walk kind of a person, but I really want to work with Quentin Tarantino kind of thing. I feel like even if she desperately wanted to work with a certain producer or director, but that was at a lower level than I have to always have this many lines in whatever movie, she would probably tell Quentin Tarantino, no, thank you, but no, it doesn't have enough lines in it. Herself, she's a grown woman. If she's able to get in Will Smith's face and be like, I live further away from the set than you do. You live right down the street. Why were you late? And check him. Then I don't think she's afraid of Quentin Tarantino. So right there, you're putting words in Margot Robbie's mouth. And right there, it's like, the saying goes, the actor is supposed to serve the film. The film is not supposed to serve the actor. And Margot Robbie understands that. What's the old saying? There are no small roles, only small actors. Margot is not a small, petty person. And if the movie was 100% focused on her character, then that's what the movie would be about. If she was the center point. Just because you like an actor and you want to see more screen time of that actor doesn't mean that every movie he or she picks, that's the best thing. More screen time of your favorite actor is the best thing for the story. That was a very idiotic question to ask. Without even seeing the movie, you're like, or right after seeing the movie, you're like, yeah, the story was good or bad, whatever they thought. Yeah, but you know what? Why? I mean, if the criticism was, I think the story would have been better with more to say from the Margot Robbie character, that's still a subjective thing. And I'm pretty sure you're probably going to be wrong about that. After I see this movie, I'm like, this story was about, if isn't Leonardo you could argue that there was not enough screen time of Margot Robbie in The Wolf of Wall Street. Who was the story centered about? You can argue that Matthew McConaughey's character didn't get enough screen time in The Wolf of Wall Street. The story wasn't about him. It just blows my mind. And in my response to it, I gave a response to it. I used Olivia Wilde's movie as the example, where I said something on the lines of Jason Sudeikis is in that movie, and he's a bigger star in a lot of people's opinion than everybody else that's cast in the movie. He only had like one scene, really, a few lines, two scenes, a few lines here and there. Is it he's a bigger star? Why shouldn't he have more lines? Shouldn't the movie be more focused about him? A movie that was about two young high school girls who realized that they, hit the books hard, studied, and wanted to stay away from parties, and to get in a good school. But then they found out that the people who did party and go to school at the same time also got into those schools. So they wanted to make a big splash at the end, and they learned a lot of lessons about themselves, about their friendship, a lot of things. And I think the New Yorker also gave a crazy ass review on that too, that my friend Alicia on Twitter told me about too. We'll get into that a little bit later maybe. So what's up, New Yorker? The argument that Jason Sudeikis' character should have had more lines or something. I mean, how offended would you be if I would have been right there? Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah, I know the movie was about, coming of age of these two young ladies here, but why don't we have more from Jason Sudeikis? You know how fast come on, man. Come on. The question is equally as insulting. Margot Robbie, we're living in the Me Too era right now, and I want to make that fight about you being cast in a movie in a semi-starring or co-starring role or whatever, and I want to make that about that. I want to make this argument about this agenda, and I want you to be she shut that down so fast. Like I read the script. I know the story. I took the job. When I read for it and I got cast for it, and I'm happy to be a part of the team. Quentin Tarantino made Kill Bill. That movie was split into two, starring a strong ass female. And I think, honestly, more lines were given to women in the movie than any other guy. I mean, there were more women cast in the lead roles than there were more girls than guys in that. Look, and Quentin's response was brilliant. I disagree with your hypothesis. He was holding back. But let me know what you guys think. Let me move on to this to something else before I blow my top. But it was an interesting little situation there. But stop trying to make everything about something else when it's obviously not, because these people are professionals, and let's all try to act accordingly.